What's up, YouTube? NovaDolla Investment here again with an update on the zero DTE credit spread journey here. Remember, we started this account about a week ago, um, basically documenting the journey from a 5K account, right? So the plan is to brush up on our skills here and our entries and so on and so forth because I'm still making silly mistakes. Like I'll enter a trade on the call side instead of on the put side, or wrong or I'll enter on the wrong strikes and so on and so forth. So I'm trying to refine my entries, um and in my system as well, while and then getting prepared to actually go live here soon as far as a live account. So we started with 5K in a simulated account, right? As you can see there, nothing is hiding. It's a simulated account. Um, and then we started with 5K. What date was that? Let's go look at the date that was before we dive into the charts. So we started with 5K on. Let's go back. Oh, no, not one day. Let's go all the way back to the 14th. Oops, too much. Okay, so here it is on the 16th, around the 15th or the 16th is when we started. So about 2 weeks ago. Yep, there it is. So on the 15th, we started, and then we ended that day with 5,300, and then here you can see all the trades from there, from that point on. So these are all the trades that we've entered. Most of those, like as you can see, all are same day trades. This week, however, I switched from using, so I'm pretty much using QQQ, IWM, SPY, and some GLD. The reason why is because those are the tickers that you can actually do DTE. They have zero DTE expiration dates. Obviously, SPX and and RUT also has um, zero DTE dates. However, I'd rather trade the ETFs instead, as opposed to the indexes on those. So, for instance, for RUT, I would trade IWM. Um, for SPX, I would trade SPY, right? And for NDX, I would trade QQQ. Take it a step further, right? Obviously, when I start trading live, PDT, right, pattern day trader, will become a factor if I'm going to be setting stop losses and entering and not holding to expirations, because I'm not holding to expiration all the time, right? Obviously, I did on Friday, right? However, on the other days this week, I pretty much um, closed out the trade at around 80 to 90% profit before the market turned on me. So if I'm gonna be doing things like that, I won't be able to do it quite as often, because you're limited to only what, 3 trades every 5 or 7 days or something like that. 3 day trade, right? Enter and exit. So if I'm entering zero DTE, I'm restricted as far as being able to exit that trade. It's really, to me, it's really silly, because now you're limiting somebody's they're limiting your, I guess, your ability to be able to enter and exit a trade at your own free will. Obviously, I'm not using any margin. However, to sell, right, credit spreads or sell options in general, you need to have a margin account. So I can't turn this into a cash account where PDT does not apply, even though I'm not trying to use any margin or anything like that, right? So I'll never sell naked calls or naked puts. I'll never sell strangles or anything like that. And I'm not a fan of iron condors or anything like that. I'm strict. I might every once in a while on the account, I might do a debit spread depending on how what our charts are showing us, what the technicals are showing us. However, for the most part, we've been trading and are going to continue to predominantly trade credit spreads, zero DTE. So here's where the account sits after uh, Friday, the close on Friday. So we're sitting at 12,438, right? Um, so we'll continue to test our strategy to see what the flaws are, and keep in mind for me to get to 12,400 from 5K. Obviously, I've been my size has been bigger than probably what it should be, right? So I need to be more realistic on how many contracts I'm buying, I'm selling, or really trading. Um, because when we start live, I probably won't be taking those big risks on the account. I'm probably gonna try to limit the my entries to 2% of the account overall account for each trade. So I might not be able to scale as fast as I am now. So this might not be as realistic as it should be, right? However, the trades are real. The way I manage it is real. It's just that my sizing is probably right. I'm not playing with my own money right now, so I'm trying to test my system to the fullest extent and see what I can how I can manage a trade that goes against me. Um, my the credit received on the credit spread um, versus how much I'm spending to collect that credit, and seeing if it's reasonable. So I'm just basically being reckless right now, try to see what mistakes I can make before tightening it up and going live. And then so here's what our setup our chart looks like. I'm really when I'm entering these I know it looks a mess right now, and I get it. There's way too much on these charts, but they're on there for a reason. Trust me. Um, so basically, when the market opens, I'm monitoring a 5 minute, right, or really a top down approach. So I'm looking at an ATR range chart. So I don't use the daily chart at all. I predominantly use the ATR range chart, right, and then from there I'll go all the way down to the 1 hour chart, right, 15 minute, and then the five is actually my entry. Uh, and then so all those have to align, and I'll go deeper into my strategy um, in the next video. I don't have a lot of time today, but um, so basically, yep, range, ATR range, range bars, uh, 1 hour, 15 minute, and then 5 minute. And as you can see on the actual grid on the chart itself, I have the multi time frame as far as the weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, they're all on there. At least on the 5 minute charts from so I can see exactly what's going on in the other time frames. The market's not open right now. However, when it's open, these change color to tell you exactly what's going on with those time frames. And then in the next in the future videos, I'll go in and break down each indicator right on the chart and how I use it. What's on here? This code is custom built. Um, it's custom built, so it has a lot of different points of I guess inputs in here, right? As far as plots, uh, ATR stretch zone, explosion. I'll explain what all those things mean in the coming feature. Obviously, I have the delta spike here on the charts as well, um, which represents volume and also who's in control and so on and so forth. Our buyers in control, our sellers in control, etc. So in the feature video, I'll go into that. But for now, just to keep it simple, here's the account. Here's where we sit at, and let me go down and try to break down the trades that I've actually traded, um, the trades that I actually took this week. So let's take a look at our order history. So here's our order history um, from this week. Right, so we started the week in QQQ right on Monday, and I closed the same day. Yeah, so I'm not gonna try to. It's kind of confusing. I'm not gonna try to go down and break down each, but here are all the trades. You can take a look at it. You can write it down and go back and and look at your charts and whatnot, and gain whatever you can gain from that. But here are all the entries starting off this week down here. And as you can see, you'll see multiple entries here or there. It's because I made mistakes and used the wrong strikes and so on and so forth and all that other stuff. But as you can see, I'm not holding any of these trades until the next day. The next day is actually a brand new trade. And I think I trade pretty much every day this week as well. Yep. And a lot of these orders that you're seeing, some of them are say canceled because some of them were stop losses that either weren't triggered or um, we just um, we just closed it. So here again, here's the actual order. So boom, on Monday, went into GLD and it expired. This one expired out the money, and then so we made money from that. We made 74 cents because of 74 cents, and we kept it all. And then actually we held this one overnight, and then we closed it out the next day at 6 in the morning. So we actually, I think we lost on that one. We lost 24 cents on that one. I'm sorry. And then on Tuesday, the same day, right? We got 44 cents on QQQQ or QQQ, and then we got 78 cents from SPY as well. And then we closed those out at 11 o'clock, um, respectively. QQQ, or sorry, SPY for 11 cents, QQQ for 6 cents. So made money there. Um, on Wednesday, here are the trades: SPY, IWM. Obviously, those hit our stop loss. We came out of those nicely, and so on. So these are all the trades. So you can pause the video and take a look at it. Look at the strikes and whatnot. I'm gonna go through all of it, but um, what else is relevant here? Oh, and here's where I switched to. On this day here, I switched to using the futures. So basically, as you know, like we said before, PDT is an issue, right? Especially on an account that's under 25K. So to mitigate that issue, so I can actually trade as much as I want and enter and exit as much as I want, I can actually trade futures, right? Because on futures, PDT does not apply. You see what I'm saying? So I can actually use so for instance for SPY to trade SPY, I will just trade ES/ES, right? For NDX or the NAD or QQQ, I could just trade NQ. You see what I'm saying? And then um for the Russell, I could trade RTY/RTY. See what I'm saying? So and those and PDT doesn't apply to those. So you can trade futures as much as you can. You want to, and that includes futures options as well. For those of you who are familiar, might if you're a newbie, this might not sound like any. This might sound like a foreign language to you, but if you actually understand what I'm referring to, then you'll understand exactly why this is an event or what this is a game changer for our strategy to be able to exit and enter as much as we want to. The only downside to trading um, uh, to trading forex, or sorry, not forex, to trading futures as opposed to ETFs or indices is that you can't set stop losses on futures on the Thinkorswim platform. So what I tend to do in that case is I'll just set alerts, right? I'll set alerts on the charts for a certain for the stop loss for my stop loss area, and then if those hit, I'll go in and actually close the trade manually. I don't like doing that because now it takes my emotion. My emotion comes into play, right? So now you start second guessing your strategy. You might say, well, if you just set it and forget it and just walk away, then you can go on about your day. And hey, if you're wrong, you're wrong, and you exit with a loss, right? However, when emotions come into play, you might take a look at the charts and say, "Oh well, you know what? It might turn around," and the next thing you know, I, a play blows past your short and long strikes, and now you're looking at max loss as opposed to a tiny gain, tiny loss, or a break even or something like that. So um, that's the small disadvantage, but for now, that's the workaround, just to keep it realistic while we try to build this account up. And then, like I said, the plan is to actually go live on a live account after we've refined our strategy and proved that we can actually do this thing in paper trading. So, anyways, hey, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions you have, drop them below. Um, whatever you want to, if you want me to dig deeper into how I'm entering my trades and so on and so forth. I think I've only lost one trade this week, and the stop loss made it a minimal loss. It wasn't too big of a loss as you guys can see. Plus, we collected credit as well, so that helped to offset the loss and the impact on the account. You know what I'm saying? So most people when they trade zero DTE or credit or sell a credit or sell options in general, one of their biggest thing is, well, you can have a 95% win rate. However, that one loss, you might win 10 in a row, but that one loss can set you back 6, 7 trades, right? So now it takes you like 8 trades to get back to where you were before. So, yes, that can be true with some strategies, but I'm not selling a 10 or 5 or 2 delta, right, and just hoping and praying. I'm actually being more aggressive and going more. All these trades you see were at the time when they were entered, they were either at the money or probably around the 40. The lowest is a 32 or 33 delta. So I'm being real aggressive. However, I think I have an edge. I think my system gives me an edge when it comes to picking the direction of the market for that day. Like I said in the previous video, I don't hold overnight because I can't. This environment that we're in right now, earnings, news, tweets, right, can take the market in a totally different direction than what your technicals are showing you. And then so as somebody that primarily relies on technical trading, absolutely not. I cannot. The fundamentals. The fundamental happenings as far as trade wars, whatever else, is too risky for me to hold anything overnight. Unless I'm just investing, unless you're in your long term investment account, then obviously you're gonna hold, right. You're just gonna go through the game pain. But manually trading or swing trading right now for me is off the table. So I'd rather play zero DTE and get out and get in on the same day, and not risk um, the news coming out after hours, and which locks you in to where you can't make adjustments or do anything to help your portfolio not you know what I mean, not suffer the brute blunt force of whatever news happenings occurred while the market was not open. So uh, like I said, just a small glimpse on what their portfolio looks like right now. 12,000 is where we're sitting at, and then so we're hoping for another great week next week. Hopefully, we can continue to to make progress and then get more comfortable, and then finally switch over to live trading. One of the key parts of the system, I can break down on that for you real quick. So this is these magenta colors here is just a delta spike. That's all that is, and these arrows represent significant um, volume in a certain direction on that particular range. So this is a range chart, like right. You see, it's based on ATR, not a time frame, but just average true range. If you look at like let's say this, if you look, let's go back here. Look at this one, right? So I would trade these are basically what I'm trading. So if you look at um the here in this area here, you can see for that day the delta spike was 12, which is huge, right? So 12, and then so you can see it's positive, not negative, right? See this one's negative. Well, this one's positive. So significant volume on this range chart, and this happens. You pick it up really early, right? So I probably caught it like probably right here, right? And then so now you got the direction. Boom. I take a look at the high and the low. So the high, the low at that point. Sorry, the low at that point was 440, or sorry, not 440, but like around 440 ish, right? Yep, 440.28 was the low at the F this range when this triggered. So I'll just come in and sell a put here at the 440, right, and collect credit and just monitor it and see what happens, right? If it turns around the next during the next range, or not enough volume or whatever else, or it just turns negative, then I get out, right? I'm not waiting for you to oh well maybe you'll turn around. I'll just get out, right? And that's why I don't like holding overnight, because overnight I won't be able to make taking the action on this. If the range blows through the rejection and keeps going, then or sorry, and comes back, or it hits it and comes back, then I can't do anything if it's overnight. The news came out, but during the market while it's open, if I'm monitoring it, as soon as the next range hit, if we're still positive, I'll hold on to it, right? And hopefully there's no more. It doesn't. It stays in this range for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? So some days it'll just stay in that range. Like this day right here, it didn't stay in this range. It actually went up right to this, and then it stayed in this range for the rest of the day. And so we're able to hold until the till the expiration. On this day right here on Wednesday, um, boom, see it's negative. So it was negative. We caught it early. We sold the high, like 463 is where we sold at. Obviously, you can see the price was in rejection zone. I'll explain what all these mean. These labels mean in another video because this video is already too long. A plus setup, what that means, all the other stuff. But anyways, and I'll try to do it in a way where I don't give away my edge, because I'm not trying to like I guess teach anyone how to trade or anything like that. I'm just trying to show you all that it's possible to do this and to build a system that will help you do this, right? I'm just a regular dude trying to document and show y'all how I trade these assets. So yep, I'll sell it at the high and I'll monitor it, and then it pretty much stayed in this range the entire day, um, and so on. But my stop would be I'll try to find a trade right around the 463, sell a call here, and my stop loss would be around the same, right? And then if it hits, it hits. I'll just get out. But if not, then I'll just hold on to it. But if another and then so boom, expired. Then on Thursday, here's what QQQ did. Boom, right? Let's see, at what time was this? This was at 1 in the morning. This was 1 in the morning, right? The market didn't open yet, and you see where it was, where it sat at, right? And then so boom, I came in. I looked at it, didn't touch it because yes, it was positive delta, but it wasn't there wasn't any the arrows didn't click on. The arrows represent abnormal volume, right? And then so boom, kicked in here, right? It kicked in here. So I just went ahead and um sold a put here and ride it on out for the rest of the day. But that's basically what the system looks like. I know it's hard to it's a lot on these charts, right? It's hard to flip back and forth and whatnot, but I have a really good way of reading charts, right? Just beyond candles and doji and whatever else, or even 2 to 1 reversals or whatever else. Just beyond that, I pretty much focus squarely on volume, um, and range, ATR, right? I don't really do any lagging indicators like, I don't know, RSI or moving averages, weighted, exponential. I don't do any of that. I don't look at any of those things because those doesn't tell you anything until after price moves, right? MACD, the same thing. My system is based on just pure volume and average true range, right? Even the VWAP, as you know, is volume weighted average price. So yeah, so you won't see me messing with any type of moving averages or anything like that, or Keltner channels or Bollinger Bands or any of that stuff. strictly volume and ATR. It's real simple, and I utilize the ATR range chart a lot because I really like it. I like the raincoat, but the raincoat is it's the raincoat bars are iffy, but the range chart, I'm telling you y'all, it's a cheat code. If you find a way to figure out exactly what range a certain asset is trading in and be able to know when there's a significant volume in that range, it's a game changer. But I'm not going to talk too much about that because I want to give away my edge. But hey, like, comment, subscribe. Till the next time, I'm out. This NovaDolla. Peace.